You know, I just cannot put Memento as a masterpiece, like a full-on masterpiece. And for me, like, I have to watch this again, but for me, I will not be so quick to say that this is just not better than Memento or I still feel his best film is Prestige. But for me, is Memento just straight on better than Inception? I don't know. I cannot fully say that. But for me, I can fully say that Prestige is still his best film. And I can still fully say that this is definitely better than both Begins and Dark Knight. But Begins had a lot more, Italian symbol.
Yeah, it had Ducat.
So what would it be? How do you think this?
I haven't really thought about that.
Because also it's only one viewing, man. It's just only like for me. When I watch Memento for the first, the thing with Nolan films is that you only really watch them after like 3 times. Because when I watched Memento for the first time, I was like, what the heck? I was like, what? I had to watch it like the third time. So okay, now I get this now. Like this film has like, because obviously Elements has basically explained a lot of stuff to me that I just didn't really. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, any more views on like how does this? I mean, like feelings on this film is like for me like, would you say this is a masterpiece? Coming out of it straight up.
It's hard. It's too hard to say that off the bat. I've seen Memento once.
Oh, you've only seen it once?
Yeah, I've only seen it once, and
wow.
So I can't really make the comparison. I've only seen this once. Compared to Batman Begins, I think it's a better film altogether than Dark Knight. It's more, the pieces are all better put together.
No, definitely.
Better than Batman Begins. I don't know. Batman Begins has a lot of it has Ducat. It has
no.
But
it's hard to say. That's a tough one.
Like the movie might be better when you've seen it more times. Like
that's what I'm saying. It's like this is only one viewing, guys. This is only one viewing.
But the thing about it is that there's a feeling that you get the first time you watch something. Like the first time I saw Matrix, for example, I knew that there was I saw it like 6 times.
Look, I already said this was not going to sniff Matrix. Look, man.
Yeah, so
Morpheus is a beast. Morpheus is a beast. Okay, you can't sniff.
No, I'm talking about part one.
Morpheus. That's what I'm saying. Morpheus.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the thing I'm saying. Like the first time I saw Prestige, I saw Prestige when I wasn't even I was expecting, but it was Prestige. I'm like, hi, what are you going to do with Magicians? And I saw it and I came out. I'm like, man, I knew that there was some. The thing about this is that I understood enough about the movie this first viewing for it not to really change if I saw it 10 times. I know enough about what I saw, and like I said, what it is it's a mathematics. It's like you're constantly, listen, let me explain, you know how it is when you're seeing something and you're constantly trying to work something out as you're watching. That's what it felt like. It felt like, all I'm doing is working things out constantly. Instead of you work something out and then you're able to enjoy a section and then you're working something else out and you understand.
Wasn't that similar to Memento though?
What?
Memento was similar, so was Prestige.
No, but do you know what the difference is about those two is that once you understand, and you understand very quickly in the beginning, the movie is working on those rules. It's just working on rules. Like the rules of Memento, you know it very early on. And then everything you're seeing is normal, but it's broken up. Like a guy going to shoot them, everything is backwards, you know it is. So every scene that you're seeing came before the scene that came before that. So once you've done that, you're able to just watch it. The thing about this is that you're constantly understanding what the hell is going on. Which is why I say, listen, even if you watch it again, you don't have to do that anymore because you understand the whole thing, because you've seen it the first time. But once you do, the movie doesn't operate like an emotional, personal journey of it.
For me, I think you've basically hit a very important point. And the thing is that with Nolan, I could never really expect emotional, personal kind of stuff like I would get from, let's say, a Spielberg or an original Star Wars thing. And if you look at Memento, you look at Prestige, the characters aren't very dynamic.
And the actors. Yeah, but the point I'm making is that this is the ultimate Nolan. This one, there is no way in. The other ones sort of had a little bit of a way in. This thing, there is no way in because this is the ultimate movie.
To be honest, I felt towards the characters, I felt the same way that I felt towards the characters in Prestige and in Memento. As in, you don't really empathize with it. I didn't really empathize with
but I agree with you. But what I'm saying is that those movies were not as mind complicated as this one. Mm-hmm. The puzzle wasn't as extreme in those ones.
This was extreme.
The puzzle was so extreme in this one that that's all it's about. Like, it's all it's about. Like, for me, for example, this is the thing about it. The ideas were so interesting that I felt like, for example, the whole idea of limbo and guys being there for centuries or decades or whatever, or hundreds of years and whatever, right? Yeah, I saw that look, whatever. The idea of that is interesting, but the development of it, you just saw a guy and he's really old. And you're thinking, man, imagine what that must have been like. Or the fact that they were in that place for 50 years building things. Those sorts of things those are very Spielberg-y ideas. That say Spielberg did it. He'd go a million miles with that so that you fully felt. And things I'm watching, I'm like, man, that's really interesting. I wish that we dealt with that a bit more, as opposed to the technicalities of the kick. The kick, I'm sitting there thinking about the kick. Like, what the hell is the kick with the music? And I'm trying to figure that out at the same time as things are happening. So I'm not able to fully enjoy, like, the room spinning around, fight scenes and all these things, because I'm thinking about how is this actually working towards the story, because I know this is important towards him trying to do something. Why is he packaging all these people in a circle with rope and pulling them towards this elevator and doing that? I'm just watching all of this and I'm like, I do not know what is going on. I have no idea what's happening. But at the same time, I understand the general idea. But the thing is, because you're working so hard, you're not able to fully appreciate, like, those little things, And for me, I'm only saying this because, like, Nolan is my guy. Like, this movie.
Is it open here? Yeah. So, what is your... do you feel that it's too much, that it's basically... Look, man, the film was a mind... Look, we both looked at each other the same way after we finished that flick. But do you feel like it was a straight up mathematical...
I would debate that. I'd say, there are themes you can look at beneath it, which, go beyond just being a mathematical problem. Like, in the Empire Review, they say, bringing up ideas...
It's basically... Look, man, the film was a mind... Look, we both looked at each other the same way after we finished that flick. But do you feel like it was a straight up mathematical...
I would debate that. I'd say, there are themes you can look at beneath it, which, go beyond just being a mathematical problem. Like, in the Empire Review, they say, bringing up ideas that it's about, it's about guilt, it's about faith, even about the idea of suicide.
Yeah.
It's about, you could say it's about a lot of things. And it's the kind of film that lends itself to repeat viewings. Because as the Merc was saying, you are just your brain is working a mile a minute trying to fit, while every action piece is going on the side. You've got like a list of 3 or 4 things, like figuring out, okay, what's going on here.
Because we've already said that it was a full-on Nolan film, and
what were you going to say, Mike, before you got cut off?
No, what I was going to... what was I saying at the beginning?
You cut off, you said Nolan is your guy.
Yeah, Nolan's my guy, and that's the reason why I had ridiculously high expectations that I realized can never have been met. It could never be met. Like, because my expectations, here you have all the money you can deal with, you can do anything you want. My expectations was, I'm going to feel the way I felt after Prestige and Memento, but times 10, because this could be an extreme. But then when I'm watching it, I'm like, you know what, to be honest, that is what it is, in a way. Like, it is what you should have expected, based on the way that he makes movies. The beginning and going that the whole first third act of this film is explanation. The entire first, 30 minutes, 40 minutes of the movie is just pure explanation of all the things how the whole thing works. You know that you don't even get into the main mission till 40 minutes in.
Yeah.
That's ages to get actually to the main mission of the movie.
But no, look, I think for me it's when after watching the film, it was pretty much exactly what I expected from what would Nolan do if he was giving 200 million smacks to make a film. It was pretty much what I expected. It's going to be complex and they're going to be big, massive things, but I knew that I was not going to get a Blade Runner.